From the DPC, it's ESL's TLDR show. I'm Neil Candaria, filling in for Jareen Vanderheiden today.
Who?
December 13th, 2021. Support for the show is brought to you by the Ice Frog Foundation, a nonprofit group that seeks to help people who lack social skills and keep them off the streets. And of course, viewers like you. Thank you. Our guests today come from a wide range of backgrounds, and I'd like to introduce you to our first.
No, we don't.
Kevin Purge Godek, Dota's premier meteorologist and ability draft enthusiast. Kevin, so glad you could join us.
Thanks, Neil, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Next, Michelle Moxxi Song, renowned caster, accomplished vocalist, and self-proclaimed aspiring cat lady. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Neil. You know, it's really a delight to be able to be on such a program like this and be able to talk to all the wonderful viewers that like to support Dota.
Thank you. And last, and also least,
What are you setting up for here?
Andrew Jenkins, caster by day, content creator by night, and full-time energy drink mixologist during all of that. Andrew, it's a pleasure to have you here.
I was expecting to be insulted. I guess I appreciate that. It's great to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's so good to have you here for ESL's TLDR show, the weekly recap in which we cover things that have happened and transpired in the Dota Pro circuit and other topics that may so come across our radar. Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
I already said thank you, so I'm not going to say it again.
Is there anything that struck your fancy over the course of the Dota Pro circuit in the past week? Anywhere you want to go, any region you want to choose to speak of?
It's hard not to jump on the Arkosh hate train right now, I got to say. That one stood out a little bit. No, the biggest thing was probably EG being upset by Black and Yellow, without a doubt. That series was really impressive for Black and Yellow. And I think it's easy sometimes when you're watching a season to overlook a lot of the teams at the bottom. Because NA's the biggest issue with the region is that only 2 teams go to the DPC. So basically, for 6 of these 8 teams, it is basically just a huge joke. One of the 8 teams is a huge joke for them. For the other teams, though, it's like they don't really have hopes of getting to the major. It's so, like, Undying didn't make it to either major last season, yet they still perform great at TI. So the real answer is, like, how can you even, compete with the top 4? So when Black and Yellow upset EG, it was just, like, such a big moment. And they did it, like, in a cool way. The first game, EG let them get Magnus, the hero they get every game, and they made it work with some great team fights. I think Zero, their offlane player, played amazing that series. I wasn't aware of his presence in the scene before this, but he really impressed me in that series.
He's important.
He's important?
When I saw their first game, I think they beat D2 Hustlers, or was it Wildcard? Maybe I think it was D2 Hustlers. My only thought was, like, stand in for Zero, like, they've lost. Like, he's by far their best player, and it's nothing against the other players. It's just Zero has, in the second tour of last year's DPC, he completely, like, started carrying whatever team he was on.
Yeah, he was a standout player.
He's super standout.
Last DPC, for sure. Absolutely.
So, and I know that he was also captaining at a point too. So, like, he was just growing a lot as a player. And so when it's like, when he's not there, it's like, oh, they lost. And then they won. And then he shows up and it's like they beat EG. So there's an element of not surprising about it because they would obviously be a lot better with Zero. But then also, like, is that good enough? I think nobody thought that they would be good enough, even with Zero, just because it's EG. In NA, that's like, that doesn't happen.
And the EG series also, Rises popped up for me quite a bit as player to look out for, because I think overall that carry performance was something worthy of beating Evil Geniuses. It was a team effort, obviously, but again, these are players who I was not eminently familiar with beforehand, aside from your boy High Shaggy.
Yeah, Rises is like, he's always been a decent pub player. He's been like top 100. Usually when his heroes are strong, he'll like spam 1 or 2 heroes. One season it was Bloodseeker, another season it was Spectre. And so people just like took him as just a hero spammer, and that's it. And that's how these really good players always start, is that they're just really good at one thing, and then they have to translate those skills and figure out how to make it work on other heroes where like the concepts are different. But recently he's like ranked 20. I think he might even be top 10 now. So he's, as a player individually, he's been kind of apexing, and if you look across the other regions, like that's what you want from a carry player. Like all of these carry players are rank 1. Like Uragi just hit rank 1. You just want a super high rated carry player. Like that seems to be the most like important role to have like a super high skill guy at right now. So it doesn't surprise me on that element also why they're so strong.
Wasn't Apexing hard enough to beat Undying afterwards though? So
interregional stuff is really weird. Like sometimes there's just teams that are like really good. Like Undying, for example, they're really good at winning the lanes, and they're really good at making like early game rotations to the point where I remember SVG was saying like he would literally always show up mid against them, and they'd always show up there for like the 5-6 minute catapult. And so I think if you look at EG, they were losing lanes to Arkosh. And so, which is crazy for EG because you usually think of them as like a really lane-winning team.
They are, yeah.
But it actually looks like their laning in early game is not their strongest point currently, and then they end up winning when it comes to the late game, which is no surprise because they have 4 players that people say like are on the greedier side, at least in terms of their history in you know playing the game in other roles.
So where does this leave you, Moxxi, on the black and yellow trend? Do I start writing them off? Was it a one-hit wonder kind of thing?
I don't think you should write them off necessarily, but I think, you know, when you're going up a team like Undying, all right, this team has just been looking very, very strong for the last couple events that we've seen them at, and they're really starting to hit their stride. They know their item timings, they know when they're supposed to be moving, when they've hit those power peaks, and it's very fluid for them. It feels like black and yellow, they have these moments where they're like, oh yeah, you know, we have that momentum, things are going well, you know, you're getting good positioning coming out of your IO player, and like they're not able to get into the back lines. But again, like Jenkins said, interregional play comes into effect where you know each other pretty well. You know how they play. You know which players you want to target. You want to mess with lanes. So I mean, that's the nice thing about the DPC, right? Is you're seeing growth. You're seeing different teams, have more time to play together, to get stronger, to analyze each other and make a play off of that. So I don't think you should write them off, but, they definitely need to step it up again if they want to keep going on this train.
What's Undying score? Because I feel like...
They are undefeated. They haven't
I was going to say, because I feel like we talk about Undying as if it's still last year, but their performance at TI, especially during the group stage, was insane. Yep. I don't think they're just the third best team. Like, they could be better than EG. This is a team that performed insanely well at TI. They've
been playing together, though, for a while, whereas EG's kind of like reshuffled. They're still getting their bearings. Not everybody's in the same spot, so that does make a bit of a difference.
It does.
Whereas, when you have, again, like that's a big thing for South America, too, is that all of the rosters shuffled so often that you never got to address some of the actual issues within a team. You're just like, oh, well, that guy, he doesn't fit. But when you're forced to address those issues, you become a better team. And when you become a better team, you obviously put forth a better, standings and things like that.
Undying was also doing pretty well in the tournaments like right prior to TI too. So I just feel like our perception of that team is based on, it's like easy to base it on DPC because we're talking about DPC, but in terms of TI and other tournament performances, that's actually just a really good team.
Yeah.
Like they might just be the #1 seed in NA, and this idea that EG is supposed to be at the top could just be the bias of like, that's the way it's been for a long time. But
well, and they have the most superstar team. I mean, they brought Cherax back.
So did Navi in for the last season of DPC, and it's like
Virtus Pro and Secret. There's so many stories of the VIP team not being good enough.
It doesn't work.
But it's early though. Again, it's very early that they're still trying to find that stride. Like you see this happen a lot whenever you mix up teams
with EG especially.
Yeah,
like they tend to do a lot worse in the earlier stages of each season, or each tour. So it's not atypical for them, but I also think that there's an element of like Undying is just way better than
they're coming for them. They're gunning for them for sure.
Quincy Crew's a bit, I'd say they're like, I mean, they're also this new team. Like I almost want to say like that region is probably EG, Undying, Quincy Crew now instead of EG, Quincy Crew. And maybe even Undying #1. Like I genuinely think that's possible.
Yeah, I think
maybe Black and Yellow in 4th place over Zoomers if they can keep up their streak a little bit.
At least in the first season, in first major.
First tour, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
Okay. That satisfies my curiosity on North America. Where else would you like to go, Kevin? It's up to you.
Why do I have to pick every time? What other regions?
Any of them.
Western Europe is like fun to watch as well, just because of the general star power that we've seen. Nigma Galaxy looks very weak without Miracle. It could just be like they haven't, like if Miracle's not there and their team isn't scrimming as their normal 5, then obviously their performance is going to be lesser. But maybe they're feeling like they've got lots of time. I worry for them though, because like we saw last season, literally the reason they didn't go to TI was because they didn't do well enough in the first season of DPC and they didn't make the major. And those points, like they almost made it with that great run at the last major that they played, but they didn't qualify. So I worry for them that if they don't get their stuff together, it could force them to do a pivot later on. So they really got to play well in their next match.
Yeah, you want to talk about roster consistency. I mean, many people are wondering why Weehaw is just kind of sitting around while RMN is subbing in, and you have a team that has otherwise stayed pretty consistent for multiple years in Western Europe, which has been kind of an anomaly, especially as of this season. We have Liquid also dramatically changing things after they almost broke the record of most consecutive games played with the same 5-people roster, but they had to shift it a little bit, and it's working out so well for them, Moxxi. They're undefeated so far.
Yeah, that's a group that really just hit the ground running, so to speak. You know, you've got a lot of star power, you've got a lot of people who feel very comfortable, and they're pros, right? When you get to a point where you're so used to, you know, moving around a little bit, you adjust much faster. It's the whole argument that we had with the former tours, is that you have, you know, some teams that adjust so well on the fly, right? They do so well on LAN because they just immediately know what they have to do, and then there are other teams that they really take that time. They take, you know, the week's worth of, you know, game and then really do their research. So it's kind of similar in terms of players, right? Some players are just very quick on the uptake, and then some players, you know, they need a little bit more time to be like, okay, this is how we need to start playing. This is the person we need to play around. So again, with Liquid, they just hit it, like I said. But when it comes to like teams like OG, that's what's really, really interesting to me, is we've got a lot of, I don't want to say newer players, but younger players, I guess, more untried. That's a team that has just clicked almost immediately, which I think is really, really kind of scary if you're, you know, one of the, not necessarily the old guard, but, you know, just seeing how fast these kids are improving and being able to take these like explosive games and fights.
Yeah, their style is weird. I feel like they win games off the back of just nobody like knows what the hell to do against them.
How much are you factoring in the game that we literally just saw happen on Dota Pit, which was Na'Vi versus OG?
Not, you know, I mean, I would say that without seeing that game.
Okay.
That game's a good example. I mean, carry Void Spirit, that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. But I mean, just Amar building like Satanics on every strength offlaner, playing like a core no matter what. It griefs games.
Did you notice he just played offlane Faceless Void?
I did, yes.
Brown boots into Hood into Halberd, and
Yeah.
he would just like jump in on people and Halberd them and chase and time dilate, and like I was just like, man, they just won the game with the Void offlane. It's weird.
That
They
dude
do
just
weird stuff.
refuses to play a traditional offlaner.
He does.
Which
So-
is why
good.
it's perfect for the team.
Yeah.
The branding is
But
perfect.
the question is, though, once that gets figured out, is that still good? And, like, I want to be on the OG hype train because I really like watching them and it's fun. But I'm also confident in a captain like Insania or somebody, you know, cutting that apart and figuring out how that team ticks and finding weaknesses in that. I think there's an element of, like, you can own people with this weird shit at first, and then if it turns out to actually be good, everybody just copies it, and then it's not unique anymore. And then the question is, can they adapt again? Can they do something new again?
Yeah, but I would argue again, like you said, like it's all about adaptation. It's about not staying stagnant, because if you stay stagnant, obviously people are going to figure your stuff out. Like, I mean, you look at the, like, Secret, like, you know, Secret's known for doing, like, very unique kind of drafts, putting heroes in strange 4 positions, free Yapster and whatnot. Like, that's a strength, because you want to be the team that sets the meta. If you're the team that sets the meta, the other teams have to take the time to figure out what's happening. And by the time they figure out what's happening, if you're a good team, if you're a good player, you've already moved on to something else. You already realize that they're going to figure it out.
Can you do that more than once? Because when you have players that are brand new to, like, a tier 1 competitive scene, like, maybe they've been doing some style for years and years, and it's not something that they change, but it's completely new to those players. Like, for example, going back to NA a little bit, it's like teams letting High Shaggy's Ember Spirit through. It's like you play with the guy, and you know not to do that. You know not to do that. But that's been the way it is for years for him.
Yeah, but is it confidence coming out from some of the other players? It's just like, Shaggy always plays. He either plays Ember Spirit, Void Spirit, or OD. We got this. Like, they're that confident.
We did interview Moon, and I was like, bro, you let his Ember go through? Because after Black and Yellow won versus EG, definitely showed up on a lot of people's radar. It was already on Moon's radar. He said that during their NA qual run, Black and Yellow was one of the only teams to give them trouble in their undefeated streak all the way to make it to TI. And so he was like, to be under the impression that you can doubt this team is stupid. And he says that pretty much all of the player upgrades that they've made were upgrades. All the player transfers that they made were upgrades. And so he was wise to it.
Sure. I didn't want to derail to go back
Go
to
for
NA.
it, Jenkins.
We figured that we would get derailed.
Because I know this is like we're going to be super NA biased, being all North Americans here. But the Black and Yellow to me of EU is Team Tickles.
Okay.
Like this team, maybe a little higher in the ranks. They're going to end up a little higher in the ranks. Black and Yellow will possibly, but I mean they've looked amazing, and also they picked Sniper as a carry against Liquid, and they had won a game in that series. They almost won the series
with a sniper, but they didn't win the sniper game.
No, they didn't win the sniper game.
definitely
didn't. But I respect
a fun pick.
I respect the bravado, the confidence. I don't know. It's just the team looks really good. I've been watching a lot of their replays, and I've just noticed that they have. It's like OG in the sense that they have these ideas that are totally fresh and new, and I've never seen them before. Like they do these smoke wraparound plays, wrapping around the back lines of the tier 2. You know, they do these smokes where like Celery will walk in, break his smoke so it looks like he warded mid, but then really his core ace was walking around and warding somewhere else. Like they do these really creative things, and maybe they're creative strategically instead of like some Amar building meta style on Timber or something. It's more like a strategic thing, but it's still fresh, new shit, and it's why they're winning, and it's why Celery's an 11k MMR position 5 player, which is insanely high for any support player.
How much do you think a lot of that, though, too, is like Immortal Faith being like involved in the process, just having that fresh...
Is he on this team?
Oh, yeah.
Tickles, that's his team. He was on Twitter asking for team name ideas, and they ended up with Tickles.
And he tickled it up.
Okay, because there's some of the Viking GG guys in the lower division, too, right? On a roster there.
I don't know if he necessarily like followed Celery, and that was like the main impetus for being a part of this team, but it's his joint.
Well, I know that the players all say how much he's helped them grow as a player, and I would say that like for a coach like that, it would be mostly like strategic stuff that he's probably helping out with, because I know he's less of like a pub grinder type player, and he's more of Fiend's replays. Like he just watches, he just consumes. So he's gonna have all of these ideas of like, okay, here's where everybody like goes to ward at level 1. Here's something nobody's ever done before. Let's do this. Because I've watched so many replays, like I know nobody's going to expect this sort of thing. And it's like it's those little things that give you an edge, especially in the European DPC. Like the teams are so close in terms of individual skill that you do like this one thing to get an advantage, get like a first blood, and the whole game is easy. Yeah,
the auxiliary things have a big impact, which is actually part of the reason why you were saying, Moxxi, that Liquid hit the ground running. They were also boot camping, like, immediately. And now they're no longer boot camping, which we actually got a chance to speak to Matu about how that transition process has been for them.
I mean, now that we started only playing through bootcamp the first games, it definitely feels more awkward to play. Not like that's why we kind of figured that when we practice, we also use webcams to kind of see each other and just feel a little bit more personal. I think it's working out for us pretty well, and yeah, I mean, like all these like interactions with coaches and analysis are a little bit weird, like weirder when you're online, because like people just like. Excuse my language, but they just fuck off randomly. And, yeah, it's like you don't know when they're making themselves a hot chocolate or a coffee or anything, or taking a shit.
We always know when Jenkins is taking a shit because he always tells everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and
polite.
what quality of it is.
It's like you said, you don't want to just have somebody fuck off. Like you want to know what they're up to, right?
Yeah, we want to know
you're
doing
accountability.
If you're on a very successful team, of course, that you need to announce that.
Yeah.
To acquire success.
That's really the main reason why we're forcing webcams for the entire DPC.
And so people can't,
just disappear.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's integrity reasons.
Well, it's like when they pause, you can see what they're doing.
Right.
Then someone called them out on that at one point too.
We did. Yeah. I think it was an NA game where someone like said like lag and then just like left their chair. And then, oh no, it was versus Tundra. Skeeter was like rolling around in his chair, randomly spraying stuff, and because it wasn't Tundra that did the pause, but their opponents did, which I don't
There's
know which
something that
series
happened.
It was raid. He was spraying.
Some
There
sort
was
of bug.
Yeah.
cockroaches or some
Hopefully
sort of
not cockroach.
centipedes, maybe millipedes in his room. I know Skeeter's got some issues with those.
Millipedes?
Yeah, he's got a big millipede problem. Yeah, he's been.
Yeah.
He messages me about that. He's like, "What should you?" I recommended to him whatever you saw him spraying there.
As you are an authority.
Yeah, it's mixing chemicals, right?
Right.
Right in my wheelhouse.
What I've been drinking over here, it's
Feel free to take a sip of this drink. Kevin, you haven't given me a review, by the way.
you didn't catch nobody saw me when I took the first drink.
Well, you need to make it's a
It was-
podcast. You need to make the
The
sound.
Jenkins
It was
Can we get a big sip?
Slurp.
smells. It's got that like
Clear comms, clear comms.
it's a thing pro players do to like try to make things clear. That was a good reference.
Correct, yes.
A lot of chemicals I'm smelling.
Less talk, more sip. No, I barely even
louder
heard
sip,
anything.
louder sip. Come on.
Trying to taste. Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta slurp it.
Oh, that's rich.
Jesus, don't eat the cup.
I mean, the first taste is good. Then I get to that like diet sugar.
That'd be the
Sugar.
Febreze that I put in there.
Yeah, then I get that Febreze taste afterwards.
Gets
It
it
reminds me of
fresh.
college, where people would puke on their futons, then Febreze it till it all you could smell is Febreze.
What the? What?
That's just what boys do when they're
You
18
slept on a
in college.
futon in college.
I never did that.
Y'all are
ground.
I knew
gross.
people.
I was on the
Oh,
ground.
believe me,
with a-
Moxxi, you've interacted with many people who
blender.
live like this.
Oh my word.
Yeah, Febreze was like how you clean when you're 18.
Yeah, because
fresh out of college.
you spray Axe on yourself to get
Yep.
rid of the sweat. You
Yep.
spell Febreze on the couch to get rid of the vomit.
And then once every 2 weeks you take a shower. That's everybody knows. That's
What's wrong with you guys?
I'm just saying, it was just efficiency at that point.
I don't agree
They
with this.
just didn't.
I'm a profuse shower.
for real though. How do you? Let's say your mom buys you like a futon for college. Like, what do you do when like some kid like throws up on it like the first week?
You remove the vomit for a start.
Well,
Please
that-
tell me that you guys are removing the vomit.
This is
It's
before
like a
you
draw the
Febreze it.
owl. Thing.
I
What do you mean
wasn't
remove
there,
the vomit?
okay.
Do I have some sort of suction capabilities?
I mean, if you
want me to
have
lick it
not,
off?
I mean, a lot of high school, or not high school, a lot of college people don't have like a little wet vac to like
Yeah.
clean
Exactly
up.
the issue.
But
So-
you gotta scrape that shit off, right?
Oh, so let it dry first, okay.
No, and then you get like soapy water and you like try to spot clean it and get rid of
That
the
sounds out of a
remnants.
not in the wheelhouse of
Yes.
an average 18-year-old male.
True.
to me.
I mean, true, but geez,
Febreze.
don't just Febreze over. If you're
Well,
if you are sitting there
I'm
right
sure they
now and you
scrape it
have a
off.
futon that's got
I have
vomit
the
all
solution.
over
I have
it,
the solution
do
to all
not-
this. You don't vomit. You swallow it. You don't vomit on the
You
futon.
baby bird yourself.
Scrape it off and then
Absolutely.
You just
It's not. You're not a dog,
Scrape and
Kevin.
eat.
You're
Angle-
not a dog. You
angle
don't go
upwards.
back for seconds. No.
Angle upwards, yes.
Yeah, that's
Let
right.
gravity do its
That's
job.
right. Let it
So-
cycle back in.
in conclusion, Jenkins juice a little funky.
Well,
It's okay.
I'm glad to have learned. And on the topic of support staff, as we continue back onto the Dota Pro circuit, Eastern Europe, PuckChamp is actually doing pretty good. The reason I say support staff is because our good friend Lee Mayer, the statistician of TI10, has been working with PuckChamp for quite a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, PuckChamp.
That's awesome.
Since at least the entirety of the previous DPC, in which I believe PuckChamp was Div 2, and then now they are Div 1.
Yeah,
and
they came from lowers.
Right, and they're doing quite well now. They are 3-1, and the one team that they have lost to is Spirit. But I actually watched that series.
Oh, just kidding. They didn't come from lowers.
I think season 1 they came from lowers.
Oh, season 1.
Yeah, PuckChamp, they came into
Season 2 they made it to uppers, and now in the
Still-
Winter Tour, they're in Div 1.
Still rival on
Rylat,
them.
Young G, Malik, Astro, Ducalis.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee,
Lee Mayer,
who
Liam.
has god tier stats.
for sure.
Very helpful at TI.
And what we saw was only just the tip of the iceberg, because there's also a great deal of like warding stuff that
Oh, he was fiending the warding
I'm
stuff.
telling you.
What was the one stat that we were trying to figure out? The teams with
how
the
many number of sentries spent for D wards?
numbers? So like
Average sentries per
sentry
D ward.
sentry efficiency.
Correct.
So basically, how many observer wards die in the game versus how many ward
was it-
sentries you place.
Yeah.
It was it that the teams that had the better sentry efficiency were winning later?
Yeah, so I was trying
It was
to
something
extrapolate
weird.
for one of my AR segments that I was just like, this is a great stat, but I don't know what it tells me. It's so cool that it only takes
So-
Beachy Gaming 2 sentry wards and it takes Fnatic 8 sentry wards.
Yeah, so just to be clear, it was that the teams that had better warding efficiency were not winning as quickly.
Correct, but I don't really know if that was like the proper conclusion to draw out of it. It was a slight trend.
And my theory on that
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay, never mind.
We've lost them.
My theory on that was that the teams that are playing faster are often leaving areas, and if you're leaving areas and entering into areas, you have to just slam down sentries like crazy in order to deward, right? Because you're not getting your courier to fucking fly out.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Donkey.
You want to place a good sentry, but you're like, but I need this cliff
Yeah.
dewarded.
So you just
have to do it.
sentry the cliff, sentry the middle of wherever you're standing, sentry the cliff, leave, go do it somewhere else. And so you have the teams that are actually playing faster are the ones that have worse sentry efficiency.
Yeah.
But the teams that are controlling areas, maybe they're more likely to win. Maybe they're more likely to win later. But they're spending more time in areas, and therefore they can send the courier out. They don't have to just plop down sentries. They're not going to go somewhere else where they have to place more sentries. And that was just one stat.
Correct.
Like, he was coming up with all sorts of stuff about these teams, and it was like day to day too.
And he was so passionate about it too. Like, that was the best part. Is like I was talking to him, and the dude wasn't sleeping. Like, he legit was like an hour or two at night.
I don't think he does sleep.
A robot.
You know, but you know, you talk to him about, you know, like I messaged him because I was concerned about his health at that point. I was like,
whatever.
you need to sleep. He's like, oh, but I want to get this stat and this stat and this stat. I was like, talk to the casters, talk to the desk, like what they really enjoy and try. But like this man, just everything. Like he's like, this is really interesting. I want to get that out here, and I want to put this down and this. And I love that. I love seeing people that are super, super passionate about, you know, Dota and like want to share all this information.
Apparently.
No,
They
it is.
always
Team
have a
is
place
popping off.
in the community.
Yeah,
If anyone is
it's wonderful.
unfamiliar with who we're talking about, there is a statistician in the Dota 2 community who is primarily Russian language, or at least trying to get started in Russian language talent. And I became familiar with them through Reddit posts, so obviously trying to access English community as well. Spectral.gg is the website. Highly recommend it if you're a fan of any level of professional stats. If you peruse Liquipedia or Dota Buff, the esports section, check out Spectral.gg. And Limer is the sole creator, proprietor, owner, operator of the site, designer, everything, and also joined us at TI10 to give us on-the-fly statistics, helped me and Kevin out quite a bit with our AR segments because we were also paneling and casting, and we couldn't watch every single game. And so he would come, bring us daily statistics. We try to make a segment out of it. Huge asset, not only to us, but apparently to PuckChamp as well, because they are 3-1, only lost to Team Spirit,
Yeah.
the TI10 champions, and it was a close game. It was a 2-0, but both the games were nail-biters.
Respectable.
Very much so.
That's fair.
I think I read somewhere too, like the top 3 teams or whatever, they all have coaches.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think the rest do. So he was kind of like stressing that point, like, you know, might be worth it to take a look into getting, you know, some coaches, some analysts, something like that.
It's more common that coaches are going to want to align themselves to teams that have potential, though, as well. It's like
a chicken and an egg.
Like
sort of.
Arkosh can't get AUI to coach him. There's no fucking way, you know. Like he wouldn't want to associate his brand.
not
with
Well, they
true.
kicked him,
That's
so why would
not
they want?
true.
Why would he want to work
He
with
was
them?
willing to
He
play
couldn't
for them.
get
I hear they're working on
Us.
Avery SVG though.
Yeah, because I'm on the
I'm
content.
just saying that there's a reason he's coaching Tundra, not Arkosh. Okay, one of those teams has a lot more.
That's great. Great!
That's a lot of damage.
Continue.
Yeah. Good
Hold on, there's
teams
one for
will
this.
get good coaches. That's all I'm gonna say.
We can get into this right now if you want to.
XD.
Hey,
wanna-
I don't want to hear that shit.
We can talk about this. You want to? All right.
Dive on
I
in.
don't think I have a choice.
Lead us.
If you're not familiar, the supporter packs have come out for a handful of the teams. Not all of them. Otherwise, we would be equally shilling for all of them. But the ones that have been added, we picked and chose some of our favorite voice lines.
Yes, we
and
did.
I would like all of us to campaign for our favorites. And after all of us go through 3 lines, the 12 that we have selected, we will find a top 3 based off of the arguments that you guys provide.
My understanding last night is you can buy supporter packs for anybody, but you can only buy like higher level supporter packs for people that have voice lines and stickers
Yeah.
and stuff, right?
So
For now.
the
They're
base,
still unleashing all of
But
them.
when I was like clicking through, it seemed like I could buy like everybody's.
you get a
pack.
pennant for
You get a
level 1, which is like $5. You get the sprays and the loading screens, or yeah, the sprays and loading screens for $10, and then you get the voice chat wheel lines for $20.
Gotcha. So buy them for your favorite team.
Buy them for your
They're
favorite team.
friggin' expensive. I'm putting that out there.
Well-
There should be a chest. That's my idea. There should be a chest that you get when you get the level 3 one. Because
Okay.
I think it's one item short of being
A good deal.
A good deal.
I see.
I think you should get a branded chest that has
Like a courier or something, like they used to do.
maybe you could have special couriers
That'd be
as the like super rare reward, but then have the rest of the chest just cool looking items, normal chest, but then the best reward maybe is like a courier. You buy the Enigma pack and maybe you get some crazy
I
design
feel like
on the donkey.
sets are just something that I don't really care that much about anymore these days. I mean, maybe it's just because I've been playing Dota so long and I have a set for like every hero basically, but unless it's like
It's the
really
chance.
cool.
It's the chance of getting that courier.
So you want to encourage people with gambling to make them feel like they're
Oh, you can only buy one. Then you can buy a supporter pack for every team. Maybe you have a chance of getting
more gambling.
more
Yeah.
more gambling.
All right, well, let's listen to some of these nice voice lines.
Sure, let's listen to some of the voice lines. Purge, which were the 3 voice lines that you selected? Do you remember?
I was the last to pick,
You were.
so I had a rough time because I made a list of the ones I liked the best, and of my like 5 that I thought were really good, I think like 3 or 4 of them were already taken by you guys.
Should have done your homework.
I'm gonna have to check my phone because off the top of my
what I
head,
thought.
like it's not gonna be.
Okay, Moxxi, I know
I'll
you
go.
were responsible. Tell me, which are the 3 lines that you selected?
So my first line that I love is from DogChamp. I like the ows. I think they're fantastic.
It was their last
They
season
just
too.
lazy put the same one in.
because
Get that
it's
out
a
of here.
banger.
It is
You
a
don't
banger.
reinvent
It's-
the wheel.
It's good. It's good voice acting or whatever. You know, it's
It is
not.
good
It's
voice
not
acting.
cringe. To
It's
me.
also one of those things that like something good happens, ow! Something bad happens, ow! You don't
True.
know. You know, it can go either way.
there's-
I
It's
do like the
versatile.
There's
flexibility.
important
Lazy.
categories. Flexibility. The voice line has to be relevant. Has to not be cringe. Like there's
party horn.
You got to
It
pass
doesn't
a lot
get
of
any
barriers.
more perfect
It's,
than a
it's a
party.
good one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I
Number
got
one.
that. I've got this one here.
XD.
It's from Quincy Crew. I like that one
I would've
because it's
picked that
very dry, sarcastic humor, and
Yep.
I spent a lot of time hanging out with this guy here. So
I think they should have chose.
appreciate
You have a sick perversion. And he was flaming Lukey for playing Penguin.
That's pretty
Oh,
fun.
that would be pretty good
That's a
too.
deep
Have you
cut.
guys ever had an XDer on your team before?
Yes.
Corey was an XDer and Zephyr as well. So
Really?
like that one just like resonates with me so good because he would say it the exact same way. It's like an NA meme. You just be like XD, XD. Something's like funny or awkward or
So
mostly
he,
awkward.
he didn't even type it.
XD.
He was
no,
saying
he
it
would,
in
every
comms.
time he would say it.
XD.
He like it's like I don't know. It's my impression was like making fun of somebody that used to like type XD for like that face back in like the year 2001 or something.
Back in like the 1800s.
So now they
or
just
whatever.
say it. Yeah.
1800.
No, they just say it. It's just in my brain. That was a good one. That was
Okay.
one.
That's
Yeah,
an
that was
evergreen
a
one.
top tier for me
People
too.
were like etching XD on stone tablets.
Yeah, but those were like Roman
Hieroglyphics.
numerals.
Yeah, hieroglyphics.
10 D is not a Roman numeral, but 10 something.
Maybe they missed. They
Maybe
missed
they
it.
did.
And then my last one is from Team Liquid.
This death actually doesn't matter.
I'm a support player. These things happen.
I included
a
that
good
one in my top picks that got stolen by somebody else as well. I thought that one was really good. It's like it's great context.
didn't
You,
steal it, don't
you
leave
die all the time, right?
stole
Right? You die all the time. So
You do.
like you can throw that one out there. It's good. You can use it on your opponents. You can use it on yourself. Multi-versatile. The execution is good. The acting was good. I like it. That's a good one.
Zai is known to be
I like how you have
a
categories.
professional actor.
Of course.
The
thank you.
categories that he
I mean,
has
he's
to
doing
like.
your
it doesn't
sales
tick
pitch for you.
4
We're
boxes.
voting. We're
Yeah.
voting at
No,
the
no, no.
end.
It's a good one. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah. All right, Jay. What's good?
I'll take next.
It is glued to the table.
I will pivot it over.
Pivot,
We are
okay.
using a stream deck for those of you listening on audio. Okay, so my first one was
Are you looking yours up? Do you not remember?
I vividly recall it.
I remember all of them.
I'm
Yes.
just looking at pictures of the team to get me really into the mode because it's T1.
pivoting.
It's mic test. Mic test.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hello, mic test. Mic test. 1, 2, 3.
All right, here's my argument for this one. Casters notoriously get very sick of the voice lines because we hear them so often
Yeah.
and they are incredibly distracting. But this is one that I think that will almost always get a response from a caster. It'll be a pause. Someone's gonna do mic test 1, 2, 3, and you are gonna be paralyzed and you're gonna be like, I need to fill this pause with something. And you'll start talking about the voice line. It is the classic crutch. In fact, you guys should be thankful that voice lines came out because it used to be, let's look at couriers, let's look at cosmetics.
What's
Because
wrong with that?
all I'm saying is that people run out of stuff to
You're
talk
gonna
about.
start me on my whole rant about how professional players only have the base donkey and don't actually buy into the Dota ecosystem.
I know a team
Support
that does
players
that,
have
yeah.
the couriers.
I actually like the mic check one because I feel like you can use it passive aggressively.
Also true.
It's like,
Yeah.
can you
Hello,
idi-
mic test. Mic test. 1, 2, 3.
like, can you idiots not hear me? Like, what?
Or it's like, are you guys like what's going on? Why don't you respond? Like, why are you losing so bad? You know, it's like maybe your mics aren't working. Maybe that's why I haven't
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
anything. You're so
yeah.
quiet. What's going on? You know.
Great. I'm glad we're all in.
I like that one.
Perfect.
People were spamming that in pubs last night.
We are all in
I was enjoying it.
accordance with that one. My next one is from Team Unknown. Crit, crit, crit.
Crit, 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 yay!
This one,
That's garbage.
I'm a fan of this one because the other voice line meta is you never just use one voice line. You spam them back to back. So if you chain it correctly, you can, I don't know if it'll work properly, but the idea is,
Crit, 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 yay! Crit, crit, yay!
okay, it doesn't overwrite on the stream deck, but the idea is you get 6 crits.
Nice.
Crit, 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 yay.
Yeah.
That's pretty annoying.
That's the only thing that's cool, but I fucking hate that voice line.
I think
I fucking hate
Easy.
it. I went through all the voice lines, and there was 2 teams that I now despise and want to lose, and it is this team and one other.
it sounds like
Team Tickles as well. Awful.
That voice actor is like
Trying too
tied
hard.
up and trying to escape, and they're like, "Do the line."
Yeah, it's,
Do it.
It is not, in my opinion.
Crit,
I think
please.
it is
Kill me.
cringe. It's cringe voice acting from my perspective, and it seems also
The voice actors watching
It's
it,
also
like,
redundant.
I thought it was good.
Like, look, I think what happened is it is the new round. People are understanding the meta better, but they don't truly understand the value of the meta. They're like copying Arkosh's season 1. They're copying Effie's voice line, and they're doing poorer versions of it.
Yeah, they
that are like it's just like look, I get it. You want
I'm
to earn
gonna get
money.
a girl to read my voice.
Yeah,
line.
it's like
Yeah.
you want to earn the money, but like you're just badly copying something. It makes you look cringe.
All right,
that's
but
my
you
argument.
said that this line had good voice acting. Now, this
Yes.
line,
That came out
actually
season
think it
1.
was good voice.
Number 1, it came out season 1.
Yeah.
It's a dog
It sounds like
themed
somebody
team.
dying.
It's like a howl or whatever. It's fine. The girl saying crit, she's like saying it annoying. It's literally, the way she's saying is literally annoying.
that's how voice lines work. They're
Look,
supposed to be annoying.
they can be annoying, and I
Depends on your definition
and
of
I
a good voice line,
distinctively
though.
chose like the base police line. Very annoying, but I think it's well executed.
It is.
I didn't choose it. No, I don't think anybody here chose it because they never want to hear it another time. No fucking line. But it is objectively a good executed voice line that is also annoying.
Sure.
Okay.
But that one is badly executed, in my opinion. Sorry, I would say it's slightly badly executed,
Getting very
and it's annoying.
We can have opinions. I agree. It's
I
shit.
refuse to accept that one's like. I was very surprised to see you put in there. That's all I'm gonna say.
You can at least
And you're an
understand
idiot.
why
That's it.
justification.
Trolly nature.
It's
a
the
trolly
irritation
nature.
factor that I was
Yes.
appealing for, and clearly it works. So I'm going to be using that against you if I ever queue for
He's
a
right.
draft. In some
He's right about that.
parallel
And then I'll be
universe.
like, dude, your build is so bad.
Crit, yay!
4 passives.
Third one that I chose was from PuckChamp.
Wow.
Now, the reason I went for this one, Moxxi, I thought you could appreciate.
What?
What did they say?
It's a wow.
Wow.
It's
But
auto-tuned.
does it not harmonize to an extent?
It's auto-tuned.
Are they not hitting those
It's an
notes?
interval. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interval.
Is
I can see that.
Wow.
You can harmonize on top
That's
of that
what
if
I'm
you really
saying.
wanted to. Are you going to harmonize on
Does that
top of
sound
the
like
voice
a
line?
I
computer?
don't know the
That sounds like
octave.
a bit like a computer.
It's not the octave that matters. It's the interval that matters.
Is it auto-tuned
I
or
don't
is she
know
just,
these
or does it just sound weird?
I don't know.
It's an interval. It's melodic.
It's
It's
melodic.
not necessarily auto-tuned, but it's definitely melodic. Bum, bum. That's
Yeah,
what
of
you're
course.
hearing.
I'm not. Does it sound auto-tuned, or does it sound like
It's
that's their
literally
actual
a
voice?
vowel sound. It's 2 vowel sounds. Like, you've got a slight diphthong going on with it.
I feel like we're talking on different pages here. I feel like this is a
definitely
really
are.
simple question. Do you think somebody that's
Has it
saying
been
that
digitally
was
altered?
it
No, I don't
was it
think it-
digitally
no.
altered? Thank you.
I don't think you
Holy
have to.
shit! That took
I just-
15 seconds. Come on.
I just don't understand. I mean, I feel like there's not enough people that will use things ironically is the problem.
I love these voice lines.
Because this,
You're very
because
pleased over there.
you
You're
picked
playful.
you picked like the ironic, annoying one.
Yes.
Like the so bad it's good one.
Yes.
But I actually think that that's not what people buy.
No, it's
I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of
Neil buys.
that's like a very American style of comedy.
which voice lines did you buy,
like,
Jenkins? Go ahead, show me, Jenkins. Which voice lines did you buy? Which are your 3 voice lines?
I went.
What are your 3 favorite voice lines?
I went with the Arkosh. That's a lot of damage.
That's peculiar.
That's a lot of damage!
I went with the Arkosh. I don't remember.
Oh, let's calm down. So, what are your what are the selling points of that line?
The selling points of this line is that I am contractually obligated. As people know, BSJ does own a portion of Arkosh Gaming, the entity, LLC. There were some words that I had thrown around in different videos about him that turned out to be defamation. And I was for this defecation, I was served a court order that said that, of course, I have to promote these, and so
defecation, not defecation.
I couldn't.
It was both.
I couldn't have. I couldn't choose anything else.
I see.
So
I think this one's really good. I think this is their best of the three. I think the other two are like decent, but I think this is the best one. Like voice inflection throughout it is really excellent. It's relevant in. You can use it ironically a little bit. You can use it in context as well. I mean, it's not as good as their last fan bundle, but I still think like this one's pretty solid.
let me tell you something, okay? We had goat noises that did not get in.
Serious.
Valve? Is it because the Omaewo Shinderu sold like hotcakes that they're like, we'll let the other teams, get a piece of the pie? I understand.
Yeah.
But we had goat noises, and I just want to know, can we resubmit the goat noises? Because those were some good goat noises.
I believe you.
We were told no animals, no voice actors. That's not anybody on. That's not Bloody Nine making that a woo. I can tell you, I know all of the dog champ players. That's
I was going to say, I know what his dog voice is
none
like.
of them.
It's
That's
not
none of
Bloody
them.
Nine.
Like, how is this somebody on Puck Champ?
Wow.
Who the fuck is that? Who is that? That's
I don't know, but they have been classically trained, is all I know.
apparently or auto-tuned.
No, Moxxi
According to whoever one you're listening.
Why would you auto-tune at 2, like, it's not even, it's like 2
Well, I'm just saying,
seconds.
depending on who you're listening
Wow.
to here.
I'm listening
very
to the
easy.
trained vocalist.
Yeah,
as
but he's a
opposed
trained
to-
robot, so he knows what computers look like. Yeah.
Aren't all robots trained?
Dude, I feel like I need to lower my voice, like, significantly to be on this panel with the 2 of you right here.
Oh, just them? That's cool.
You can also lower your voice,
We can get you some sulfur hexafluoride. I believe that was
Does that do it?
the opposite
That's
of the helium thing.
A very dense air.
Yeah.
All right, my second voice pack that I chose was the Arkosh Wonderful, which I don't remember what that sounds like.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, that one.
Simply delicious.
We'll skip past that one and go to this one.
Oh, great. That's great.
All right, Purge, go ahead.
Great.
That one's the second one, not a big fan. Third one's
It's too
okay.
slow. Like, I feel like if it was a little bit snappier, like, it would be, like, right on the money, because it's funny, right? It's
Which is-
sarcastic. That's great. Like, go, like, right into it. Like, it's just a little bit too much of a
These were the
pause for me.
3 worst lines that we submitted.
Heartbreaker.
The 3 worst.
Guess we're not voting
We
for them.
resubmitted Omaewo Shinderu.
They didn't take it.
They didn't take it.
You hate to see it. All right,
Right.
Purge. You seem like the authority on this situation.
Don't knock over the Jenkins juice and destroy this.
You will have to
Please
make
don't.
this relatively
I'll have the
snappy.
rest.
Take your fucking
Here,
cup.
I'll hit the
Okay.
button.
It's empty.
I'll hit the
As,
button. Which ones do you want me to hit?
We do have roughly 3 minutes left in the show, so
No.
Wow.
That's not.
That's not
that
it.
one's
That's
top
not-
tier.
All right, so.
Number 1.
Okay, whatever, dude. I just woke up, not even trying right now, and I'm lagging.
That's a god tier one. That is so god tier. It's
one's-
so iconic.
That one's really good. The audio quality is like a little weak. That's the only criticism. But like,
I think that adds to it.
That's
so.
not
Much as
the
how
irony.
bring. I think the scuffed nature of the microphone. If you, I mean, Arteezy through a clear microphone. Have you even heard such a
Then
thing?
again, you could argue that going back, there's only a certain portion of the audience that will enjoy that sort of scuffedness about
yeah,
it.
that's true.
So it depends on the type
You
of
got to know
person.
your market, though.
Yeah, but I think also everybody enjoys the iconic nature of Arteezy and him being scuffed
Exactly.
in nature.
I don't even think you have to appreciate it because it's Arteezy saying it. Like, it's the delivery is amazing because it's natural. He actually probably did that on a stream, right?
He does that
And
all the time.
It's also like very generic, so it doesn't necessarily apply. It's like it doesn't say anything specific about like the game circumstance. He's like, that guy's trying too hard. Here's my excuses. Like every Dota player has said something like that.
That might be the best voice line.
Great.
That one's really good.
Let's make the next 2 snappy because
Okay.
the clock is ticking, my
Obi
friend.
Neon, do that one.
Nice you.
What do you think?
That's a funny one.
What do you think?
Better than Puck Champ. No
Let's
offense.
see Paul
Hey, at the
Allen's
end of
voice
that,
line.
I just hear you.
Well, he's saying nice juke,
Nice
basically,
juke,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
that's a funny
It's
one.
not like amazing, but I think it's like a little hidden gem. I thought Obi Neons were
The
quite good.
delivery's pretty
Hidden
good.
gem.
And then I have a fanatic
Diamond in the
laugh,
rough.
a generic laugh.
Sorry.
Ooh, that one has 2 people left.
That was pretty
That's
good.
why I like it.
That's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, which team is this?
Fanatic's laugh. I like. There's a lot of laugh noises. It's obviously great in all contexts, but I like that one because it's got a double, so you got some camaraderie. It's probably natural. So yeah, for laugh ones, I think that one's really solid.
I vote Arteezy's is the best one. I think that one's that gets me every time I hear it.
Moxxi.
I think we've used Awu how many times now? I'm on board with the Awu.
Can't win 2 seasons in a row. Do we have
What are you talking
final
seasons
vote?
in a row?
Are we all just voting for? Oh, actually, you didn't vote for your.
No, I voted for Arteezy's.
You did.
I genuinely think that one floors me.
Floors you.
I like the XD a lot too. XD is very good.
Nah.
I think I'm gonna go with Mike Test 1, 2, 3. That one's really good. I like Mike Test a lot. I think there's like 3 or 4 that I think are very solid.
Mike Test is.
You don't think so?
I'm not a fan of that one.
Arteezy, are you kidding me? That's real.
So
That's
Arteezy
real
in
energy.
anyone's top 3. What's your top 3? You got Awu. Choose one that isn't yours.
That isn't mine. Oh, all right. Probably the great.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Arkosh great.
Really?
Either great or the. I guess the EG. Yeah, I would go with the EG too.
Okay, we got 2 Arteezys. You got Mike Chest. What's your other 2?
I would say This Death Doesn't Actually Matter from Team Liquid.
That's pretty good.
That one's really
That's
good,
a pretty
I
good
think. And probably I like XD a lot, but it's just like a personal preference. I don't think the average.
That's literally any opinion is a personal.
I hate that one.
No, I'm just saying that like I
Please.
have a connection because I had a player on my team that used to say XD all the
and that's
time.
fine.
So it's
You
like
can say that
personal.
you like it.
Personal
You don't need to
association.
come up with a
don't have
sabermetric
to-
I got
reason.
spammed
No, I'm
that with
trying
that.
to generically
I
tell
don't
you
like
which
it.
the best 3 are, and that one I believe is not in everybody's best 3, but me personally, it is in my best 3. I like to be very impartially.
Okay, we're gonna just
Not biased.
ignore his input from here on out. I'll go with Liquid Zai. I think them managing to put a microphone in front of Zai and him cooperating to do content, big ups to Liquid. You did it. You finally got Zai to do something on camera, on microphone.
They probably just took it from his stream, honestly.
Probably took it from.
Well, you know what is content, baby.
The one time he talked.
We
on
take
his
those.
stream.
We take those.
Lovely. Well, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the Dota DPC TL DR.
We ignored 3 regions, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Go
if,
SA.
if it ain't English, I was like, I'm not qualified to judge this one. Really
It's
wasn't.
okay. That's
Beast Coast versus Thunder Predator. Let's go.
yeah, that's the stuff.
Yeah.
SCA.
Huh?
You watched some SCA?
I've been watching lower div SCA. I've been looking at Enigma Galaxy over there. Pelosin, one of the best Enchantress players. I'll tell you in 15 seconds.
Perfect.
He made me realize I don't want to play Enchantress because he played the best Ench that I've ever seen in the first 15 minutes. Literally every 15-second window, he was doing like the most optimal, efficient thing possible. The game went to 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's supposed to be a snowballing here. He played perfectly, and the game still went an hour. You know how boring Enchantress is?
So his team sucks.
Maybe. They ended up winning, so good for them. They carried, but it's like if you're Enchantress, you don't win at 15 minutes, you're just useless.
But a win's a
45.
win, dude.
Win's a win. You take
Win's
the
a win.
points.
Yeah, but still, you know.
And then China, Extreme Gaming, Paparazzi.
He's popping off.
He's paparazziing off.
God, is this time to end this thing already, please?
Thank you for watching the 3rd weekly installment of the DPC TLDR. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, at ESL Dota 2, but only say nice things, otherwise we get fired. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.